Well, welcome to Innovation Week 2023. It's a 10th anniversary. I'm Alan Dale with Gale Force Wins. Always a pleasure to have you on with us, Minister. Innovation in Newfoundland on fire at the moment, but really it is a perfect example of government, industry, and academia all working together to solve problems for this province and then export that technology globally. It must be amazing for you to be in the midst of all of that at the moment.
Sometimes I have to pinch myself. I've been lucky enough to be in government for some time, and I was happy to be in justice. I mean, that was sort of my dream. But it's pretty heavy files, significant files, and then being over in amongst the tech sector, it's just nothing but excitement, opportunity, job creation, knowledge creation all the time, and being surrounded by a bunch of people who are constantly thinking about what's next. It's truly inspirational is what it is. I'm so happy to be a part of it, and I think my only job is to support that in any way that we can. Thankfully, I'm a part of a team led by our Premier, he was the person that said, go for it. He's given us full room to move with this. So I'm lucky to be supported, and I feel my job is in turn to support everybody that's doing this awesome work.
Minister, the province and all of those groups that I mentioned, they have a laser focus on that next generation coming through to make sure that they're skilled up properly to embrace this great world that's before us. And you talked about that. You're down deep into the high schools talking about tech. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I don't think we will hit our true potential unless we recognize that we've got to get it out throughout the entirety of this province, both rural, urban, young and old. And I'll just toss out a couple things. Number one, the opportunities that K to 12 kids have. And this is not just about university anymore. Like, we need to get right down in there into the elementary schools. And number one, to provide the skills, which I think our youth are already primed to do that, and I just use my kids as an example. They're way more sophisticated and advanced than I ever was. That's a good thing. The second part is that we need to take that and then multiply it across the sector. I mean, we've got Kean College here who are doing all this amazing training for our workforce that's there. We can't just rely on youth. We have to have everybody. But I think the big message that excites me is never before do I think we've had a greater opportunity to live here, work here, create here, make money here, and push our ideas out into the world than we ever had. That's not always something that we've been able to say here in this province,
right.
But I think it's true now. So yeah, we've got challenges in terms of we need so many people to fit the needs that are there. That's a pretty good problem to have.
Now, we're in town talking tech, but this sector is just beyond the overpass. It's everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the importance for rural Newfoundland and Labrador and the tech sector.
People need to realize that the ideas can come from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter your background. It just matters that you have an idea and you have an internet connection, basically. Thankfully, we've got some great educators that are getting really into this, and we're trying to support them. We do our RISE program, which again is across the board everywhere. We're sending these kids outside the province, and then they bring this information back. And again, what the impact or input that I've had from them has been phenomenal. And I point out too that one of the biggest success stories in this province is history. Verifin, started by a few fellas that came from outside, came here for school, and look what they did. They are a beacon, I think, to everybody else of what can be done here. We just need to build on it.
100%. And tech touches so many sectors. I would argue touches everything, right? And one of the big important ones being healthcare. Tell me the importance of tech and healthcare at the moment.
So yeah, I mean, there's pure tech, which in and of itself has huge opportunities, and then there's the implication of tech on all of our industries, so including our resources. But just last week, we're talking innovation in the health sector. We all know that we need to do healthcare differently in this century. We're not going to have the same results doing it the same way. And Tech is making it easier, safer, better outputs, better opportunities. It just is giving people better treatment, better standard of care, and in many cases saving them from some of the things we've had to do, long travel, long waits, things like that. And so then, you look at the companies like PolyUnity, we look at Breeze Suite, we look at Sparrow, and I apologize to everybody I'm forgetting. They are doing amazing things for our healthcare sector, but again, it comes back to that original idea, partnership. We've got the Living Lab, we've got Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services, we got all these groups all want the same thing, so it's about coordinating. In the department, we're working on a new strategy just on bio and health, putting that out there. So again, it's exciting because I see a lot of the challenges that we have in healthcare, and I see the people here that are going to help to fix it. So I feel good about the direction we're going in.
It was less than 12 months ago I sat with the Premier, and he had just come from an announcement of a new tech sector, a new hub, a new building they were putting in place. Tell me about how that's come along in the last 10 months.
Yeah, that one's moving along so well. There is a huge space, like over 40,000 square feet, and that was a long time coming. I can say that if I had, I know the amount of work that went into it, perhaps the amount of a lot of fun moments there along the way, but it had many partners, Tech and L, even people that were there and not now. So between the Craig Rose and the Paul Prestons, the Premier's leadership, people within our department, Jill Skinners and Jason Higgins, then you look at the people here like Dan's and Jacqueline's and Florian's, everybody came together for this space, which right now they're doing a tour of tomorrow. I'm heading up there later this month to have a look. We're soon going to the 1-year anniversary. That was a really proud moment because again, it was an unconventional issue, not your usual way of coming up with a fix to an issue that we had, but everybody working together made a success and create this new opportunity. We've got Virtual Marine up there. We've got, I think it's Excel is going, like there's so many big groups that are going up there. So I'm looking forward myself just to getting in there and seeing the space. I haven't physically been in there in a while, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, I've asked you this question before, and it's a bit of an unfair question, but the world will be looking on to Newfoundland, as they are, and have always been looking to Newfoundland because it's a resilient place. What is the secret sauce here, do you think?
Well, I truly think it's the people and the experiences that we have had that have formed this. So everything we do with a bit of humor. We're used to adversity. We're used to having to work hard to compete. And a lot of the things the good thing is that, things that were looked at as a challenge. We're on a rock out in the ocean. We felt some separation. We had all these challenges. They're all strengths now with where we are going. I just did a conference with island economies, and it's like, man, we got so much to be proud of here that we're talking to the rest of the world about. So it all comes back to the people. We've got great ideas. We know how to work together. That's the impetus for everything is people. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking with that one.
I come back to the very beginning where we said this is truly a collaboration of government, industry, and academia all working together, but I'll leave the conversation on this point. This doesn't happen without solid leadership, so thanks very much for the leadership that the province is giving to all of these people to allow them to thrive here, not only the companies, but that next generation coming through. You're really setting a foundation for success. Well done.
I'm just lucky that I'm surrounded. This is not my background, so I come into this and I'm surrounded by people that are very invested in this, love this field, whether it's the Tech and Ls and the Genesis and the MCE, you name it. So it's hard not to get swept up in the excitement. And I think my big thing is that there is so much opportunity here. That's what I think we're here to do, is to help recognize the opportunity, to celebrate that, and then help people get there. We've got a lot to be thankful for, and so we're just going to continue to be, I think, hopefully solid and good partners and supportive partners, and that's not going to change.
Well, thanks very much, and thanks for joining us here at Gale Force Wins, and we're talking technology right here in Newfoundland, and I can tell you that this is what leadership looks like right here. Thanks very much, Minister.
Thank you, brother.